it was a good one, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I love about Isogenics is that we're all kind of in this together, right? Like Dr. Glenn is in my blitz. When I heard that Dr. Ina and Dr. Glenn wanted to join my blitz, I mean, it's a little intimidating. But you know what? Everyone is normal and everyone has something to bring to the table and everyone has something valuable to give. And you know, you guys were on stage and I heard you say, you know, yes, you're doing Isogenics, but cleansing is something totally different. And I had people in the audience that were like, really? Athletes should be cleansing too? So you guys gave a lot of great tips that some people didn't know. That cleansing is great for athletes. Cleansing is great for older folks. You can do it nightly. You can do it one day. You can do it 2 days. And anytime I go to an event, anytime I participate in a blitz in a group setting like this, there is always so much value and so many takeaways. So thank you for doing a spectacular job and leaving your wife speechless, which is something I've never seen.
Yeah, back at you. You were awesome as well. You know, it was just, it was great.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any takeaways from the Super Saturday that they attended? What really stuck out for you that kind of blew your mind and made you say, wow, I'm so glad I went, because these things never get old? Who else went to a Super Saturday?
We did in Boston.
Who said that?
Lisa and Josh.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys were hosting one, I believe.
We spoke. Well, Susan Miller was the host, and we spoke. And there's a couple people on the call that were there, and a couple others that spoke. It was a well-oiled machine. Corporate was pretty rad about what they did for that event. It was probably the nicest event that Boston has put on so far.
Wow.
Did a ton of people. There was a lot of guests there. What I loved the most about it was that I got to meet a lot more people in our area that we didn't know personally. We knew of them, we knew their names, but now we get to call them friends, and we got to hear their stories, and we got to set up dates with them, and it's really cool. Nothing more valuable in this business than linking arms with other leaders, and to be able to find more in our area to link arms with was really, really valuable for us.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And you know what, guys? I literally copied the entire agenda, and I was like, these events are so important, and why don't we do our own? Let's do another one next month. Let's keep the energy going. So, you know, I wrote down, okay, first they highlighted all you know, sectors of the program. They talked about weight loss. They talked about healthy aging. They talked about the energy and performance. I'm like, okay, we can do that. We can have someone highlight a story. Then they shared a product story. Then they shared an energy story. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's get, you know, people from our team to do that. Everything that's done, friends, it's all duplicatable. So this is something that we can all take away and do. I walked out of there so pumped, and I was like, you know what? Our team doesn't do enough events. And every time you go to an event, you always take something away. You always bring back to your team, and you always implement something different. It's never a straight road to the top. It's a go, go, go. Let me stop and evaluate and see what I can do better from this, right? Vicki had a great one-on-one meeting with Christina Swift, and she gave her some very simple, easy strategies. You know, Vicki, start doing launch parties with your team. Vicki was like, okay, that's easy enough. If that's going to change the life of my business, why not try it? You know, they told Sophia, start hosting team calls for your Portuguese clients. They're not relating to Angela Maresca. You know, a lot of them don't even speak English. Simple strategies you will learn from getting to a Super Saturday. Now, you're all here because you're very serious about building your business, right? How many of you guys have purchased your ticket to NYKO by a show of green hands? Yeah, this should be 100% hands waving, because if you don't buy your ticket first, guess what? Nobody on your team will buy a ticket. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to say, girl, I got my ticket. This is when my plane is. Who are you rooming with? I got a great girl that you can share a room with. You're the leader. They're waiting for you. If you don't have your ticket to NYKO, they're not going to go. And you know what? I have to tell you, NYKO is only 2 days. It is legit a Friday and a Saturday. Why is every single person not going? Leave work Thursday night, get there, call out sick on Friday, stay for Saturday, and come home Saturday night. I'm not encouraging, lying to your boss or anything, but yes, get there. Any means necessary. You absolutely have to get there. The NYKO is just mind-blowing. And for new people, it's very important. Celebration is huge. It can be a little overwhelming. NYKO is a perfect big event to get your people to. So with all of that being said, I'm going to ask Vicki and I'm going to ask Ed Goldin to please unmute your lines.
I'm unmuted, Ange. I'm going to go first.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to introduce Victoria Brunetti first, and that has to be Ed's phone.
That's definitely Ed. Ed, mute out.
Ed so needs a new phone line. You would think with the money this guy's making, he could afford a piece of line.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so let me introduce to you guys Victoria Brunetti. She's amazing. This was a caseworker with Child Protective Services. She and I used to work together at the same agency, and her mom was actually my daughter's kindergarten teacher. And her mom said to her, you have to see Angela Maresca. She lost all this weight. You have to give her a call. Vicki came to me as a product user. This is someone who I begged for a year to get to an event. She made up every excuse. My husband works 7 days a week. I have 2 kids. It's too much for my mother to watch them. Every excuse. She went to her first celebration after 1 full year of me begging, and her business completely changed. She went there by herself. I'm so proud of her. This Super Saturday, she had almost 20 teammates in attendance. So, Vicki jumped ranks. She went from 2-star to 4-star Golden Circle. She has been an executive. She's grown into a magnificent leader. She is so coachable. And tonight she's going to present a little bit about handling objections because, hello, you got to get comfortable. It's something we all face. And then I'm going to introduce to you guys Ed Goldin. Ed Goldin, actually his wife came on for the products. And his wife he lived across the street, and I never even knew him. We lived in the skyrise buildings in Brooklyn. And his wife sent him to my house because they ran out of Ice and Delights because they weren't eating 4 on cleanse days. They were eating 24 on cleanse days. And when his wife sent him to my house, he never came home. He stayed at my house. He picked my brains. And his famous line is, if this schmuck can do it, I can do it. And, the bottom line is what was of interest to him is how I was able to be home with my children. So that's just a little bit about their stories. Ed Goldin is amazing. He's such a wonderful team leader. He's like one of the few men on our team, so he takes a lot of shit from the ladies. But listen, he's hanging on. 6-star Golden Circle, crushing it. He's going to be my first Isogenics millionaire, and I'm so proud of them. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Ed and Vicki, and Ed's going to be talking about mindset because, guys, he's faced a lot of challenges, being a man. His wife didn't support him. So there's a lot of really intricate things that I want you guys to listen for because these guys have faced every challenge and they're still here. Not only are they just standing, but they're crushing it. So take it away, Ed and Vicki.
Thank you, Ange. That's so nice. Thanks for the lovely introduction. And she's right. She had to beg me to get to an event. And thank God, because it completely changed my life. So I agree. Let's all get to NYKO. So I was excited when Angela came up with the topics for this blitz. Objections are something I think I totally got so much more comfortable with. And as time has passed, my enrollments have gone up drastically in the past year and a half. So in order to get used to those objections, you have to be comfortable with them, right? And not every time you're going to have the right answer for every situation. But the more experience you have and the more people you talk to, it will come naturally. So Ed and I came up with a little list, I think from our leaders group, of the most common objections. So I'm going to go over the first 4. Could anybody guess the first objection? What it would be? Money, right? Money. So if any of you were on here that was like me in the beginning, I would just blurt out the price and didn't get too far. So as time went on and I started to listen to more podcasts, doing 3-way calls with Angela, and getting more comfortable with myself, my belief in the products, I was able to just get through the money objection, right? So the biggest thing is, we don't want to say it's a $550 package or a $350 package. This I also took from PK Smith. We want to start, I always say, we have an $18 a day package, and this is the best one possible. This is our President's Pack. It's the ultimate value pack. You get the most bang for your buck. And then I start to list what's inside of there. The blender, we have amazing vitamins, bars, e-shots. And I'm like, girl, the second week I was ordering some bars and e-shots anyway, so you might as well just get this one. If they say $18 a day, I'm like, oh, well, we also have a $13 or $12 a day. I say 13 because everybody I usually sign up with, I get a box of bars with also. So then I go into the $13 a day. As soon as you start with that, instead of saying $350, mentally, they're like, oh, $12 a day. Even if you say $12 a day, $12 a day, that's it. I thought it was so much more than that. When you break it down per day, they have a much more to say yes on the spot. My experience, my whole downline, I tell everybody, don't say 300. As soon as I hear someone say 330 or $350, I cringe. Don't say it. So that's the first part of the money objection. Start saying day by day. Sometimes they'll say, what does that equal? And I'm like, oh, I'm bad with math. What does that come out with? I really am bad with math. But no, then, you could say that. Then I say to them, well, typically, what do you do for breakfast and lunch, right? And I wait for them to respond what they eat, okay? There is nobody on here that's going to tell me that they could eat breakfast and lunch for under $12. Not happening. We're from New York, so as you can tell, if you're in Manhattan and you get a salad for under $20, it's like unheard of, right? So that's how I like to do it. I like to say, what are you eating for breakfast? What are you eating for lunch? A lot of times they say, we're skipping breakfast. Well, that's not good. We can't skip breakfast. And then I tell them I used to be the same way. I would skip breakfast as well. And that's not healthy. And then I say, what are you eating for lunch? Unless it's a bagel or pizza, if it's a salad, it's anywhere from $10 to $15, no matter where you live. Can we all agree upon that? I think you really can't get lunch for under $10 these days. So as soon as you start breaking down what they're having, they're more likely to be like, oh, that you're right. I am spending this already. They're already spending the breakfast and lunch money. So right there, that's objection of money. You could just smash that. And then also, I remember, and it's so crazy because it was 4 years ago, Angela said to me, when I first said to her, she was maybe 6 months in when she signed me up. I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of money. And she was like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't eat breakfast. And she's like, what do you do for lunch? I'm like, well, I just go through Starbucks and get a venti caramel macchiato. And I tell them this. And I used to spend $6-something on a venti caramel macchiato. It was 550 calories, right? And I was giving them $7 a day. I was giving Starbucks $7 a day for a cup of coffee. Like, logically think about it. It's crazy. It's not even a meal, right? So I tell whoever I'm on the phone with that's having an issue with the price that, you go to Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, if they're a coffee drinker, they're spending it already. And a lot of times, they'll be like, oh, you're right. And I give an example of my cousin who was lost 78 pounds with the program, who was drinking 2 Dunkin' Donut coffees a day. And so what she did was every day she got the money instead of going to Dunkin' Donuts and put it in a jar. At the end of the month, she had like $310 back from not drinking Dunkin' Donut coffee. So again, these are all little bit of ways around the money objection. I found when you do it like this, you don't say the whole package. They're more likely to be like, all right, this is realistic. I could totally do $11 a day. Okay. Number 2, we came up with is, as far as, does anybody here, I don't drink shakes. I like to eat my meals. By a show of hands, who's heard that before, right? We hear this all the time. And I love when I hear this. And I say, I don't just drink shakes all day. Are you crazy? I eat all day long, right? And then I tell them, because it is a myth. A lot of people with isogenics think they're just having 2 shakes and 1 meal. And I tell them, you're having a shake for breakfast, right? And then 2 to 3 hours later, you're having a 100-calorie snack. And then I go into, just the other day, I signed someone up and I said, well, what is a snack? And she's like, 5 almonds. And I'm like, no, you could have an egg white omelet with vegetables. I list a few ideas. And I said, she's like, do I get to use a fork? And I'm like, yeah, of course, you could have a salad for 100 calories. So then they're thinking, wow, I'm really not starving myself. And I'm like, you could have cucumbers, tomatoes, which is really true. You really don't realize it until you're eating 100% healthy and clean, how much you can have for 100 calories. So once I tell them that, and then I tell them for lunch, I recommend having another shake, or you could have one of our protein bars. This is why I always add in the protein bars right off the bat. 3 times a week, you want to have a bar instead of having a shake for lunch. Easy, quick. So once they hear that, and then I tell them they could have another snack later on, again, they're not realizing that they aren't eating. What do you like? Do you like brown rice cake? Do you like hummus, raw almond, whatever it is? And they're like, oh, my friend did this 3 years ago. She told me I just had to drink shakes all day. Again, these are all things that we hear all of the time. So I hope this helps as far as that objection goes, which you do want to get into details. And also, I should have started from the beginning. We always want to take it off Facebook, right? Because when I'm telling someone this over Facebook, unless I've already had a conversation with them, unless they know me, when I'm telling this on Facebook, they're really not getting the excitement. When I'm on the phone and tell them they could have an egg white omelet for 100 calories, it's a lot more realistic, okay? So you really want to make sure they know that they could eat with our program. Another one that I've heard so many times is, will I be drinking shakes forever? You're still drinking shakes? You're doing this for 4 years? Oh my God, how are you still drinking shakes? And I love this one because I tell them, for me, I'm a mom. I'm a busy mom. Angela knows how crazy I am. I'm sure like most of us. 4 years old and 8 years old. Both kids are in school full time, every day, all day. For me to have a shake for breakfast is the easiest, quickest, most nutritious thing ever, right? So for me, when they say to me, because I do get this, especially doing with isogenics for 4 years, I get this all of the time. So then I explain to them, it takes me 5 minutes to make this healthy, satisfying meal, right? Because it's a meal replacement. I don't want them to think I'm just drinking something all day. So I just make it clear. I'm like, really, in reality, before this, I never had breakfast. And just by a show of hands, how many people on here didn't have breakfast before this or a healthy breakfast, right? A lot of us, and a lot of moms that I talk to skip over breakfast when they're just drinking that coffee all morning. So when I tell them that, for me, I'm going to have a shake every day for breakfast for the rest of my life, and all the reasons why, they're also like, a light bulb goes off like, oh, all right, now I know why this girl is still drinking her shakes. I tell them, if for some reason I don't get a shake in the morning, which is very rare, I do feel the difference, right? I'm sure a lot of us feel the difference, especially that morning shake. I feel tired. I don't have the energy. One day I went to an early gym class. I didn't have my shake before. I think it was mental. I felt like I had to leave. I felt like I was going to pass out. So I let them know all this. You know, I get really personable with the person I'm on the phone with. And again, they're like, oh, okay, this is why she's still drinking her shakes. So number 4 is a little tricky one. How many times do we hear, I have to ask my doctor first, right? How many times do we hear this? All of the time, right? So this one, I would like to say, well, it depends on who I'm talking to. If it's someone I'm friends with, I might say it. I honestly, like, do you ask your doctor before you eat fast food? Or do you ask your doctor before you have that sandwich or that bagel with egg and cheese and bacon? Or you're drinking soda? Someone said that to me recently. They were drinking a soda and eating a bag of chips. They said, I can't sign up with you till I talk to my doctor. They were drinking a Coca-Cola. I'm not even joking. This really happened. And they're saying to me, we have to talk to the doctor. Now, do I think all these people are going to call the doctor and ask them first? Maybe some. And that's why I say, do you have any health issues? Do you have any health concerns? Are you on any medication? 100% health always comes first. So if they tell me they're a diabetic, they want to get their doctor's opinion, I'm not going to argue it. But I am going to take with Danielle Nacco, who is one of my newest Crystal executive. She's got an excellent thing that she says, and it's so good. I actually did a 3-way call with her one day, and I thought it was great. She says, okay, I understand you have to ask your doctor, but remember to tell your doctor that it is a nutritional, non-GMO, gluten-free, soy-free, meal, shake, bars, and snacks line placements, and what other info can I give you to show your doctor or ask your doctor, right? So you want to make it clear that they're saying this to the doctor, not just saying isogenics. Because some doctors, I mean, listen, I have some people that tell me, okay, my doctor said, yes, I could do this, or this is great, my doctor said do it. But then a lot of times they say, my doctor said no. And sometimes I think it's just an excuse and they're not ready, right? But this is something you say, oh, you know what? Let me know what else you need me to send you the back of the label, whatever it is, I can help you. So this one I know could be a little bit tricky. If anybody else has any advice, write it in the chat. But for the most part, I think if they're ready and they want to do it, they're going to say yes. If they're not ready, a lot of times it's nothing you're saying, nothing you're doing. It's just bad timing, right? And just to get back on the money, because I forgot, don't be afraid. And I know I heard this a long time ago. I think it was on the Chris Harder podcast on Objections. Don't be afraid if they're bringing up money and saying they don't have the money to spend on it, to bring up a little bit. I'll say, well, do you have any friends that you could think of that we could start right off the bat with you, right? Because that would save you some money. And they usually do say, yes, I could think of somebody. And I'm like, oh, good. So once you get started, let's call those 2 friends up so you can get $150 back. So don't be afraid on the money, just to get back on that, to bring up that. I said we have a very generous friend referral program. Even if it's on the first initial call, if they're using the money objection still. Don't be afraid to use that, because let them know. Maybe they don't know that they could do that. I told someone last week and they're like, wait a second, I'm going to get back half the money I spent. And I'm like, yeah. And she hit consultant and she did get half the money back 2 days later. So it is definitely something that you do want to mention. So those were the first 4 objections that Ed and I came up with. Ed is going to go over the last 4. Ed, you there?
I'm here. Is there a lot of noise or in the background, or is Angela making this up again?
No, it just sounds very echoey. Go ahead, keep going. I'll record it for you.
Okay, so the 5th one that people said, the objections. And first of all, guys, just so you know, objections are good, right? When people give you objections, that some of the ones Vicky was talking about, it means they're listening, they're paying attention. And it's not always necessary that, what the answer is, it's how we answer it, right? Because sometimes people say, well, how much does it cost? And we get all done with something, oh my God, I don't know, it's like $3 million. But if you explain, hey, it's $12 a day or $20 a day, what fits your budget best? And Vicky said perfectly, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are. And then it's the way you answer, right? The doctors, the everything else. I don't drink shakes. Great, I don't either. I didn't do it for 40 years of my life. I'm so scared. So remember that it's okay for people to have objectives, and it's important how we respond. Right? So the other one was spouse and partner. You know, okay, you know, we get off the phone, like, okay, let me ask my spouse, let me ask my husband, let me ask my wife, whatever it is. And so, you know, to that I say, you know what, I wish my wife would have done that, because she literally stole my credit card, and now look at us here, right? And it's, again, it's the way you respond. Like, it's so, let them know it's okay to ask that question, but also let them know, like, do you ask your spouse when you go out to eat? You know, doesn't your spouse know that you eat? You know, it's just a thought process. You guys have to, it's kind of like a rebuttal to give it back to them. You know, and what I always say is, great, when can we speak to them? When are they going to be home? You know, can you guys not hear me?
And it sounds very echoey. It sounds like it's very loud. Can you turn down the volume by you?
Yeah, hold on.
It sounds so like echoey that it giving a little bit of like feedback.
Is that better or no?
Yes, that's
okay.
better.
I opened the window. So, you know, but, you know, the spouse partner, ask them, say, when can we speak to them? You know, are they going to be home at 8 o'clock? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to send you a little video and some information, and then can we speak at 8 o'clock? Right? If their objection before starting is their spouse, talk to their spouse. Let them know that you support anything they do. Right? Very important. Another one we hear a lot of time is time. Oh, I don't have time for this. And this one baffles my mom, because I'm like, what don't you have time for? Again, don't you eat? You know, and then sometimes I get, yes, but I'm always in the car. I'm always running around. I'm a project manager. I have to go to 6 different sites every day. You know, obviously for us, we can help you there also. But, you know, we tell them, listen, we have meal replacement boards. We have stuff that you can literally keep in your pocket, in your car. Do you have access to water? Right? Again, you know, answer their questions by providing a solution for them. Right? It's very important. It's not, I used to get frustrated when people ask me, like, are you kidding me? Like, time, you know, but we have to understand where they're coming from, because all of these are the same objections that we had. Number 7 was, I'm scared of products. Is there any science behind it, and is this healthy? I say, absolutely, it's not healthy for you, and that's why I'm doing it. I'm trying to kill you. People really ask this stuff, right? They've been watching me do this for 3 years, and they still ask me. But again, rightfully so, because remember, we were skeptics at one time also. So it's okay for them to be skeptics. And I tell them, say, listen, absolutely, isogenicshealth.net is our science blog. You can actually go on there. We are published. We have 6 different studies published in the health and science journals. And if you're a science person, you will absolutely love this stuff. You know. And by the way, the last restaurant you went to, did you ask the waiter the same question? And I'll ask them, right? I'll ask them, and it's okay to ask, right? Because maybe, you know, we need them to understand we're not trying to do something bad to them, right? We're trying to help them, and we have the solution and answers for everything they ask. So isogenicshealth.net, I always send them to. You know, my team, we have tons and tons and tons of nurses on there, so they love this stuff. And, you know, the people that do the research are usually the ones that have the best results, because they really understand it. So I always guide them to what they're asking to. And then the last one is, I don't want to cleanse. Is it a colon cleanse? My answer is yes, and you're going to love remodeling your bathroom when you're done cleansing, because it's great, right? Now, of course, you know, we tell them it's not a colon cleanse. There's actually science behind it, and you're actually going to feel amazing. 80% of my team feels better and has better workouts on cleanse days than they do shake days. And that's why this is amazing. It's not like the other juice cleanses that you hear about, and it's not something we're going to stick you into the bathroom for 48 hours. Right? again, we gotta make them comfortable. We have to answer their questions because they're right to ask them. We can't get frustrated. I used to get so frustrated with these questions at first. I was like, what is wrong? I'd hang up, what is wrong with these people? Why are they asking these dumb questions? But they're not, right? I have every right to ask. And then Vicki, the one that is not on our list, is this a pyramid? Anybody ever hear that one? This a pyramid? Is this a pyramid? Now, guys, there's a difference between pyramid and pyramid scheme, right? If they ask you if this is a pyramid scheme, just punch them and walk away. If they ask you if this is a pyramid, say, this is what I say, what is a pyramid? And most people can't answer that question. They don't know, right? And some said, well, if you enroll people if you sign people up to sell, I'm like, dude, I'm asking if you want to lose a couple pounds. Who's selling anything here? Well, what pyramid, right? But again, they have a right to ask. Yeah. So those are the 9 that, we went through, the 8 plus the 9. And so, I love that we're doing this objections because it comes into the mindset, right? It's all about the mind. Remember when I started, I think, I know Angela, Vicki, we would get frustrated when people ask these questions because we're so concerned about getting them enrolled, right? That we're like, why? What are they asking us for? This, just give me your credit card number. I don't, but it's really, we got to get into the mindset of understanding why, that it's okay for people to ask this. Why are they asking this? They're concerned, they're skeptics, and rightfully so. Yeah. And one of the things that, and I learned this from PK Smith, and I'll never forget it, and I've said it hundreds and hundreds of times, is we got to take ourselves out of the mindset of doing things for us and make it about them, right? I used to not call people because I knew they wouldn't have the money. Well, it's not my right. I don't have any right to make financial decisions for people.
Yeah.
It's the way you think about it. It's not right for us. Well, she's too skinny. I'm not going to call her. He's never going to do this. We have a solution for everyone. And if we really get into the mindset of helping people, especially I would never go to a fitness trainer, or a personal trainer, somebody that works in the gym, until I found out that the average personal trainer makes $28,000 a year. Think about that. Can we help that person? 100%. 100%. So the mindset is, who are you going to help? And understand that when they're asking these questions, they're asking these objections, it's okay, because those are the people that are going to enroll with you, they're going to kill the program, and they're going to become consultants and grow with you.
Yeah, I know that it's very hard to Ed, but I will tell you guys that this is a very important topic, because this is the reason why so many people in your organizations quit. Is because they never fully get comfortable with handling these objections. And they interpret these objections as a form of rejection. And as someone who studied psychology, when you think you're facing rejection over and over and over, it brings up stuff from your childhood, and it's painful. And what he's pointing out is very important. It's not about you. It's never about you. And the people that shy away and not embrace and not have fun with these objections, they're never going to follow up. And it's a very serious problem across the board, because the people who don't follow up, they lose the sale. Because where sales are made? The 4th time, the 6th time, the 8th time. Somebody said to me, I just lost someone. She signed up with this other girl. Well, how many times did you follow up with her? I didn't. What was I supposed to do? Message her every month? Well, you know what? She did. She messaged her every single month. And that's who closed the deal. Because she didn't care about being rejected. Because she didn't take it as a rejection. She knew that a part of her job was handling these objections. And this is important. Maybe you know what to say about the money objection. Maybe you know what to say about the I need to chew food. But maybe the person that you just enrolled in your organization doesn't. You guys need to be doing these team calls and really preparing. I mean, I know it's funny and, I need to chew and is this a poo-poo cleanse? But it's not funny because this is what our army is facing. We're sending our soldiers out into the field without any equipment or without any preparation. And they're going to hear no, 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 no. And you know what they're going to say? I'm done with this shit. This is not for me. You're good. You can sell anything. No, I'm not good. I'm just prepared because I know what to expect. I know they're going to say the money. I know they're going to say the doctor thing. I know they're going to tell me they have to speak to their spouse. I know they're going to tell me that they don't have time, that they have to do research. If you practice with your team, roundtable, practice going over these objections and setting your people up for success, you know what you're going to do? You're going to give them the power, right? It's very empowering. Listen, we all have an ex, right? And when your ex-boyfriend comes up to you and he's like, blah, 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 you already know what he's going to say. You're like, okay, listen, don't even try to pull this on me because I know you're going to tell me A, B, and C. When you give someone the knowledge and the tools, you know what you're giving them? You're giving them power to answer effectively. And everything I kept looking for cues and looking for clues in everything that Ed and Victoria were saying. And you know what they were saying? Nothing extraordinary. They were just coming from a place of confidence. She knows what the people are going to answer. And as a result, her psychology is smooth and cool as a cucumber. Same with Ed. He knows what they're going to say. So you know what? He's already got a rebuttal. And it's not argumentative. It's not, well, who told you that dumb information? No, they're not responding from anger. They're not responding from, I know more than you. They're simply trained professionals to say, well, I know that nutritional cleansing may sound like it's a cleanse, but in all actuality, we don't go to the bathroom. They're trained. And when you're trained, your whole physiology is different, right? So the things that they're bringing up, maybe maybe you've heard it all before, but it's important to pass this information down to your team. How many of you guys had people quit from your team and said, I'm no good at this? Everybody I talk to just tells me, no, this is not for me. I'm not a good salesperson. How many of you guys think that if we would have explained to them that handling these objections are not a part of rejection and it's something we all face? Sophia had 17 enrollments this month. To get 17 enrollments, Sophia, how many objections have you handled, would you say, to get those 17 enrollments that you've gotten this month? Have you handled 1 or 2 objections?
About 50 of them.
And how did you feel when someone came at you and said, money, I'm not interested, I need to chew, I can't drink a shake, this is like Slim Fast? Did you lose your cool and say, you're out of your mind?
No, actually that fires me up. I like when they give me objections. It's like Ed said, if they give you objections, they're paying attention to what you're saying. And most of the people that gives you the more objections, the ones that have the more questions for you, is the ones that do best and is the ones that stay longer using the products.
Sophia is a top enroller in the company. Listen for what she said. Those objections fire me up. They fuel me. I'm waiting for them. Bring them. Bring the heat, right? That's how we have to get. We've got to get comfortable. We've got to embrace it. We've got to enjoy it. We've got to stand there talking to someone as though we're educators, right? How many of you guys have heard the saying, we educate, you decide? Yes, we've all heard that. So important. So I want you guys, Vicki and Ed, to really focus on mindset because I'm going to lay everything out there. I know you guys know I'm very honest. Vicki wanted to quit, right? Vicki wanted to quit. She had a few bad apples on her team that weren't really treating her so good. They thought they knew more than her. They thought they knew better than her. And several times Vicky called me up and she said, you know what? My husband's successful. I don't need this in my life. Why do I have to stand for it? And several times she wanted to quit, right? Because this business was not pleasurable. So it really does take a strong mindset to stay in the game. And someone at the event said this yesterday, and it really brought me to tears. And I'm so glad I went to that Super Saturday. They quoted Michael Klaus, and I didn't hear him say it at Celebration. I'm glad I heard it again yesterday. They said, just promise yourself, just promise that you'll be here in this seat 1 year from now. Right? And why is that so important? Because a lot of shit is going to happen to you in a year. Right? You're going to have angry clients, nasty clients. Who's going to return? Who's going to complain? How many times have they called compliance on me? I've lost count. But you know what? No matter what, you stay in the game. You keep doing it. You keep pushing. And you just promise yourself that you're going to be here. Mindset is something that we don't talk enough about. Mindset throws you out completely because you know what? It's a lot easier to quit and walk away than stay in the game. I've been through so much. My upline, my coach, I didn't have any support. I could have used every excuse not to be here today. Or you can make every reason why you should. So let's flip it and really talk about mindset. Vicky, I'll pass it to you.
Angela, I know you're right. It's funny because I remember we were doing a blitz. And Angela's like, you're not in it. How come you're not in it? It was like the third or fourth. I don't even know. This is like our 12th blitz together. And I was like, Angela, I'm not sure. I'm not a manager. I don't know. I think I'm like just going to keep sharing, but I don't know. I had a bunch of people that were really sucking the energy out of me, right? Has anybody had people that were just like, ugh. You know what? But now I don't. It's funny. Now, like, I embrace the crazies. I love them. So, but I think because I've grown so much since then. So for me, it was really, besides Angela, honestly, like when you have a coach supporting you, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you on here, you're here for a reason. When the company is great and your belief level has to be high. When you have a coach or someone to lean on to do this with, I mean, I really, and I'm not just saying this, I tell everybody, I would not be here today if it wasn't for Angela, because I was going to throw that towel in 1,000 times. And was it Michael Klaus who said that? Get that towel and wipe the sweat off next time? I think it was him at Celebration, right? Yeah. And it's funny because I remember I said I was going to use that. So for me, the mindset came along as I continued, and really the key was, and the key to everything, growing my downline, the enrollments, was when I stopped caring what anyone thought. That's really when I opened my heart, when I stopped caring what anyone said, whether they were on my team or not on my team. This is when my mind was able to really grow. And this is when I started to see that I could do this and I could be successful. You know, in the beginning, I'm like, I don't know anything about sales or marketing. I can't do this. I'm not going to be good at this. And then I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not me? Like we all say when we see them on stage, like, why not me? So I did have those moments. And I really, in the beginning, I hear it all the time. And Angela just touched on it. A lot of them, they're like, you enrolled 15 people in the first 2 weeks of June. I can't do that. And I'm like, why? I don't have anything different than you. I just talk to everybody I meet. And I'm not afraid of the objections. And again, it goes back to just the numbers, right? You just keep talking and keep talking and keep talking because you don't care what they think. I don't care. In the beginning, I used to say, they're going to laugh at me. I don't want to put this picture up on Facebook. I was so worried what they were going to think about me. And then I just stopped. And I was like, you know what? I really don't care because they're not going to pay for my daughter's college tuition, right? They're not paying my bills. And I tell everybody this when they're like, a lot of my people are brand new and they're like, I don't know how to connect to anybody. I don't know what to say. And I'm like, just say the truth. Don't worry about it. And I have to be honest, I haven't had anybody hang up on me or laugh at me in a really long time. You know, maybe it was all in my head, or I did get that in the beginning a little bit, right? But you never know until you try. So for me, it was, you know, and also I don't work with everybody. If I don't have that connection with them, I'll enroll them. Jeff is on. Jeff is like, Vic, you don't got to enroll everybody you talk to. But I don't say no, I'll enroll you. But maybe I'm not sure if I want to build so closely with you. If we're, you know, maybe it's sometimes you just have to say it's not the person that I want to grow with, right? If they're holding you back. But that's okay. That's okay. You don't got to build with everybody you enroll. And that's the beauty of this, right? You don't have a boss. You don't have employees. You don't have to fire nobody. So that's what I love. And that's what I think how I was able to grow so much in the past year or two is from just that attitude of not really caring about what anyone thinks. Soon as you let go of that, I promise everything else really just starts to come and to fall into place. The same thing with enrolling, everything, it goes across the board. For me, Ange, that was my biggest head, like mind game and everything. When that shifted, everything else changed for me.
Can I tell you guys a funny story? So if you are 3-star or executive, you get to participate in the Isogenics referral program. So sometimes they send you a lead, a telephone number, and other times you get a retail order. For the first time, I think that somebody inputted their wrong phone number because I called the number and this crazy lady, for the first time in 4.5 years, this crazy lady picks up the phone and goes, "Don't effing call me." So I told Ed, I'm like, the first time I got a nut job on the phone. He goes, "What did you do?" I said, "I gave Vicky Brunetti the number and said, call, here, I got a lead for you. Give her a call." You know what? It's just, you got to have fun with it. You know, I think if it was the old me and someone yelled at me 4 years ago, I think that I probably would have like freaked out or had an anxiety attack. But now I gave the number to Vicky. I figured, let me have some fun with this crazy lady. Please.
And even after she told me the person was crazy, I still continued to call them and not care.
You know what? I just think that you really have to have fun with this. And I think that's why events are so awesome because you know what? When you're building alone and times get tough, you really do have to practice mindset. It was pretty inspirational for me at Super Saturday. There was a woman there named Jody Tusini. Do you guys, have you heard of Jody? Anyway, she's on another team, but I remember her. I told Ed, I remember her from over 4 years ago, seeing her at a Jeff Combs event. And she was a manager then. And we were lucky enough to speak on this panel, and she was there as a 6-star. A 6-star in 4 years. And she stood there and she talked about, you know what, I came into my family's business and I stunk at it. I didn't want to be a part of my work for a family business. And then I figured teaching. She's like, I'm the only teacher that got fired twice. She got fired twice. Teaching wasn't for me, but I kept pouring into the self-development. And to see her in 4 years standing before me as a 6-star, and her really, you know, main tip was self-development, working on that mindset. That's a big deal, guys. If people are telling you get to events because it grows you, you've got to get to events. You know, if people are telling you plug into calls, you've got to plug into calls. Just being around people who are facing the same challenges as you, my gosh, it's a big deal. I mean, Vicky grew so much. I don't know how many of you guys know her, but if you guys know Vicky Brunetti and you're on our team, do you see a change in her? Yeah, it's remarkable to watch like a flower bloom right before your eyes. You know, how many of you guys can say that you have completely transformed or even transformed by 10% by who you were 4 months ago, 6 months ago? Do you feel that you've grown? Maybe more patient, more tolerant, more knowledgeable, more confident. Self-development is going to bring you the star rank. I firmly believe that you can't be a 4-star with a 2-star attitude. I don't believe that you will be a 6-star doing the same thing that you did as a 4-star. You've got to grow yourself. You've got to do things that are really uncomfortable, guys. I got into the car and I drove to Tony Robbins by myself. And I drove home. I sat there for 12 to 14-hour days, and then I drove home. Chris Harder said, you got to do Landmark. I did Landmark. It blew my mind. Dr. Ina and Glenn, they're fans of Landmark, but I will do whatever it takes to grow myself. If the successful people are telling you do A, B, and C, don't figure out how you can jump from A to C. Do A, B, and C, right? Mindset is really everything. So I want to bring it back to Ed because I have to tell you, like, his friends knew him as like the party boy. He had a social life before he was married, right? So, now he's trying to sell weight loss and health and wellness to his friends. And they're like, dude, we were doing Jägermeister shots with you like a month ago. What are you talking about shakes? So he had, even his wife, it gave him a difficult time. And she would say to him, why are you sitting and playing on Facebook, right? Not too many people believed that he was going to be successful at this. So talk to us a little bit about your mindset, Ed, and what are some of the things that you really did to grow yourself? Because in all honesty, I have to say about Ed, he is 100% one of the most coachable people that I've ever had, ever. If I'm like, dude, we're going to Texas next month, we're going to Texas. He never just asked. He always showed up. So let's talk a little bit about how you worked on your mindset to go from manager mentality to 6-star mentality.
Yeah, so she's right? Whenever she said, let's go to Texas, let's go here, let's go there, I would go. But there was a time prior, before all that, when she was like, let's go to an event, I literally said, I'm not going to your cult thing. Don't even ask me. And she said, it's not a cold thing. I bought you a ticket. I'll drive you. Let's go. And I did. And that's when we met, I think it was Kathy Savage, that said, $10 a day or $20 a day. And something so simple like that changed my mindset. Instead of $3.50, $10 or $20. It's the same thing, but it's just the way it's presented. And so, the other thing I knew, and the reason I got started again, was I saw her being successful. I saw Angela being successful, and I went home. I told my wife, listen, let's make $200-300 a week. It'll help, right? If she can do it, we can do it. She said, there's tools, there's systems, and she'll show us what to do. I didn't ask, why do we need to do 3-way calls? I didn't ask, why do we need to do 5-way calls? I didn't say, why do I need to post? Just tell me what to do and I'll do it, right? And the reason that's important, guys, is it doesn't matter why we do it. It matters that we're doing something that successful people are doing. And the hardest part of that was understanding that Angela's here to help me grow, right? Being somebody that was in corporate America for a long, long time in different industries, it was never like that, right? My manager was scared, our director was scared because their job was always in jeopardy. They always had to hold on to their job, so they didn't really want to help you that much. So for me, that was really tough to understand that, what she's telling me to do, just do it, stop questioning it, and see where it goes. And I talk to a lot of people, and they have that same mindset. We got to understand that our upline, our teams, our downline, we're all here to help support each other, right? PK Smith was talking one time, how do we answer people when they say, what do we do? He said, just tell me you create 6-figure income earners. I was like, oh my God, that's genius. Right? Imagine if somebody says, what do you do? And you say, I create 6-figure income earners, and you say it with confidence. Think what goes through their mindset. Right? Wow, I need to learn about this. What is it? How do you? they'll give you the questions for you to answer, right? And so if we stop questioning ourselves, why do we do this? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening? And get the Corey Kinnear, I love what you said, get the noises out of your head, right? Those little noises that are always holding us back, and just keep doing what you're told to do, what the successful people are telling you to do. And that's what I love about Isogenics. Everyone's telling you how to be successful. Guys, if you haven't been to an event, you're not taking people to events, you're missing out, right? Who said it? Jimmy Smith, I think, said it. Not all people that go to events are millionaires, but all millionaires go to events, right? And that stuck home with me so hard. Another thing he said with me, this is when they were doing Billion and Beyond at NYKO 2 years ago, they were explaining the growth that you had to make to qualify for that. I was like, there's no way it's happening, right? Absolutely no way. And Jimmy Smith came out, and this is what he said. He said, most of you are sitting there saying, oh, I'm never going to get this goal. I'm never going to, it's impossible. It's such a long shot. And he's saying, do you guys understand what my benchmark is? I mean, he's making, what, $800,000 a year, so he had to hit like 1.5 million, something outrageous. He's like, I'm thinking how I'm going to make that benchmark, how I'm going to make my Billion and Beyond goal. And that's the difference, right? And as soon as he said that, I said, okay, this is what I have to do. It's not, I can't do it. I have to set a roadmap, and this is what I have to do. And I made Billion and Beyond, right? It's all in the mindset, guys. If you write down right now the 3 people you're going to enroll next week, write their name down, first and last name, on top of the list, right? I'm enrolling so-and-so. By next Sunday, those 3 people will be enrolled. They will be. It's in your mindset, right? Take them from your list. Put them on another list and say, I'm enrolling these 3 people next week. And you go-getters, write one of them that's going to be a consultant next week. And you're not going to take no for an answer. You're going to, whatever has to happen for you to enroll them, you're going to enroll them. And it's true. It's 100% true. It's the way you think about it. Right? We have bad weeks, we have good weeks. I wake up sometimes I'm like, help this, I'm not doing anything. And you know what? My business hurts, my team suffers. And so I can't do that.
Yeah.
Gotta wake up and see who we're gonna help. And if you look at it every day, you'll make it happen.
Yeah, and what I will tell you guys is that Ed left his job shortly after starting to pursue this full time. And his little one, Melania, was 2 years old, and then, you know, they had an ISA baby. And for the first 2 years of his business, he built this with an infant on his lap. I mean, Bessie, his wife, was going to work, and he was the stay-at-home dad doing this with an infant on his lap. And I just thought, what an incredible thing. And really, after pushing it, for 2 years, he was able to retire his wife. And now they're both home. So I really challenge you guys to work on that mindset and believe that anything is possible. I mean, this is predominantly a women's business, they say. Well, he broke that. You know, only 10% of the people are doing, you know, the top. Well, he broke that. You know, women are the ones that stay at home with kids. Men are the ones that have to go to work. He retired his wife at 30 years old. You guys ever hear of anyone retiring at 30? Never heard of that until I came here. But these are all things that are possible. These are ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things. And these are not people that haven't had challenges. These are not people that have not faced, you know, tough days. I mean, Vicki sat here and told you it took her a year to get to her first event. and how many times she wanted to quit. You're going to have idiots on your team sometimes, you know, but they'll wean themselves out, because I really believe that Isogenics only attracts beautiful people. So I feel like the ones who are not meant to be here will eventually fall off. But has there ever been a difficult person on your team? Yes, of course. Is it enough to make me quit? Hello? Never. Never. So you have to take these challenges, and you have to work on yourself here, because when you are so strong, it's not gonna affect you at all. So give us a few words before we close out, Vicki, or open for questions.
Yeah, I thank you. I think tonight's call, I'm getting flooded with messages. I hope it was really helpful, but it's true. The more comfortable you get, and when you get the noise out of your head, the more comfortable you be with the objections. Same thing with connecting with people, just with anything in life in general, and with Isogenics. The more you talk to people, the better you become. And if you don't know, just get on the phone with someone else that's more experienced. Listen to them, right? And as that goes on, your confidence is gonna go up. I've seen so many people, and just, it's funny, Andrew, you brought up about Super Saturday, because Simone and Pam came yesterday, and they're 6 months in, and they also came to ICU. And yesterday I'm like, wow, in 6 months, these two have grown so much. They get on all the team calls. They're coming to events, local events, Celebration, Pam came to. You're going to come to NYKO, and you see it before your eyes where someone in your downline is growing. And it really does warm your heart, I have to say. And Angela always used to say it, honestly, until you see it on your own. I love rank advancing. But when your friend rank advances, when Danielle Nacco, executive, Crystal executive, I was crying my eyes. And now I'm like Angela Maresco, all I do is cry. Now I get it. So it's all worth it. I love this. I loved being on tonight's call. And I know you chose me because this is something I'm really passionate about. But get your belief really to a 10 in every aspect. And then no one will break you. I love it. And I know Sophia just said the same thing. I love it when they come at me with objections, because I know I'm going to shoot down every single one of those. And if they say no, it's not me. I don't take it personal. I tell it to everybody, don't take it personally. You just keep going, and then I'm going to check back with them until they delete me or block me on Facebook. Then I'll text them too, okay? So I don't take no. I just think of it not right now. And that is definitely what I want to leave you guys with.
Awesome. So I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm going to open it up for some questions, because I think that you guys, it's really important.